This is Manga Dominion K, teaching beyond boundaries.
Hello everyone. In order for us to be able to read any text and understand it and be able to see it for that exam, be it a novel, a short story, or a drama, it is very critical, it is very pivotal that we apply some basic principles and look at some aspects under critical literary text analysis. Now these are applicable, or this way is applicable at high school level, at Tibet College, as well as university level. So we look at a few things here. We look at the title, we look at the characters, we look at the setting where the characters are found, we look at the plot, we look at the climax, we just look at a number of things, including the tone, as well as the theme, as well as the message. What message do we deduce from this text? So let's start with the title. The title has got a way of giving you the idea of what the story is about. So for example, we have a play which is titled My Children, My Africa. You can be asking a question as to, do you think this title is suitable for this play? Because sometimes it can be misleading. For example, the story which is titled The Gift of the Magi. That short story, if you look at the title, you think that you're going to come across, in the story as you read it, you're going to come across the Magi. The Magi, friends, are the three wise men who came from the east, going to Bethlehem when Jesus was born to give him some gifts. So in the story, the author or the speaker is not talking about those three wise men, he's not talking about the birth of Jesus. The story is about a couple, a married couple, who stay in a flat in America during 1950s, and it is the day before Christmas, so they are worried as to where are we going to get some money to buy gifts for each other. So in that sense, you find that this title is very misleading. So in an exam, you may have to state whether the title is suitable or not, and you need to first say yes, it is suitable if you think it is suitable, and then substantiate your answer. Don't just give your yes just like that. If you think it is not suitable, state no, and then substantiate your no or support your no. Another aspect that we look at is the setting. The setting includes the location or the place where the characters are found. Sometimes the events in a play, they would change the location, they would occur or take place at different places in the text. Another thing under the setting is the culture. The culture is how people relate or how they live with one another, as well as the time when the characters are living, or during which era or the epoch or age, and over how long are these events that are portrayed in the text taking place. Another aspect that we consider are the characters. The characters are divided into main characters and flat characters. The main characters are those which are round characters. Sometimes we refer to them as round characters. And then we also have flat characters, which are just supportive characters there. And you remember that the main characters are divided into two. We have protagonists and antagonists. Antagonists are those who are opposing or challenging or bringing problems to the main characters or to the protagonist. So the protagonists are on the good side and the antagonists are on the dark side or evil side. So another aspect that we consider is a conflict. There are two types of conflict. A conflict that exists between different characters, that is interpersonal conflict, and a conflict that is within one character or within a particular character, which is an intrapersonal conflict. Notice these two words are different. There is interpersonal, that is between different persons or different characters, and intrapersonal, that is within a particular character. Now you ask me, how does a conflict exist within one person? Good question. It may exist when maybe a character is undecided, that character is conflicted, cannot arrive at a particular decision. Then we look at the plot. The plot is a sequence of events in a story or in a novel or in a play. We also refer to it as a storyline. You want to be able to look at the beginning, the introduction, and how the story develops. And while the story develops, the plot develops, the characters, they also change, they evolve. Then we look at the theme or themes. You'll find that a text revolves around a number of themes. Themes are the particular ideas that are touched upon in that text. It can be politics, it can be relationships, it can be power relations or gender or poverty or love or education. It can be a number of things, it can be anything. It depends on what theme do you depict in a particular paragraph or in particular sentences. So it's very important to look at the themes in different lines or different paragraphs. Then let's look at the tone. Sometimes when the learners are faced with the question, identify the tone of these words or the tone in these words, the tone of the speaker, the answer would be the tone is loud, the tone is low. No, that's the wrong answer. The tone is about the emotions or the feelings. When you read a particular sentence or a phrase, you can be able to deduce or to detect the feelings or the emotions in those words. So sometimes you find that the words or the sentence or phrase has got a sad tone or a happy tone or a jubilant tone or a confused or a boring or perplexed, whatever it is. So the tone is asking for the emotions that you find when you read a particular sentence or a particular text. For example, here's a question from My Children, My Africa, which is taken from a previous paper in 2019, question 4.1.4, paper 2. It says, refer to lines 10 to 11. And the words are, I don't want to leave any part of me in this classroom. So those are the words of Tammy. Now the question A, what tone would Tammy use in these lines? The answer could be the tone is bitter, or disdainful, or reproachful, or resentful, or determined, or rebellious. Because in the context of these lines or these words of Tammy shows that he hates the classroom because this is where Mr. M teaches them, or he hates education itself. Another example is taken from The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The question is 2.1.3. The question is, refer to lines 8 to 9, which goes, my good Addison, said the doctor, this is very good of you. This is downright good of you, and I cannot find words to thank you in. And then the question A, what tone would Dr. Jekyll use in these lines? And the answer would be appreciation or gratitude or sincerity or relief. So that's an example of how you respond to a question that is asking for a tone. Sometimes you are required to provide a message that you deduce from a particular text. For example, in My Children, My Africa, what message do you deduce? It could be to embrace different races or to embrace the role of education or to prioritize education over anything. Now friends, you need to understand that there are different types of questions. There are low order questions, middle order questions, and high order questions. And a high order question, the examiner can ask you to respond to the text. In other words, to give your own view and your own understanding and your own critical analysis or critical thinking on the text. So let's take a look at an example of a high order question taken from the same question paper of 2019. 3.2.8, the question reads as follows. It is Lady Macbeth's ambition and not Macbeth's which causes their destruction. Discuss your answer. 3 marks. Now the examiner is asking whether that destruction was caused by the ambition of Lady Macbeth or of Macbeth himself. So you need to first state whether you say yes to this question or to this view, or you say no. If you say yes, you must identify the ambition of Lady Macbeth. And if you say no, I think it is Macbeth's ambitions. So you need to identify those ambitions of Macbeth and how they led to their destruction. So in a very summarized way, these are some of the aspects that we consider in order for us to critically analyze literature and that we are able to understand it and sit for that English literature exam. Don't forget to subscribe at the bottom and touch the notification button so that each time we upload a video, your phone will notify you. Thank you until next time.